am Teneshia Hudspeth, your Harris County Clerk, and today is a very important day. Today is the start of early voting for the December 9th joint runoff election, and early voting runs from today through December the 5th. That is a total of 9 days of early voting. Again, early voting began today at 7 o'clock a.m. All 41 of our early voting vote centers opened on time and was ready to receive voters at 7 o'clock a.m. Early voting ends December the 5th, which is a Tuesday. If you did not vote in the November election, you can vote in the runoff if you are registered in any of the qualifying runoff races. The deadline to apply for a ballot by mail is tomorrow, November the 28th. That means it has to be received in our office, not postmarked. So if you qualify to vote by mail, those applications for the ballot by mail deadline is tomorrow to be received in our office. If you check the box for runoff for November, then you will automatically receive a ballot. If you're not sure, you can go to harrisvotes.com, click on voting by mail, and be able to track if you applied and if your ballot has been sent to you. I encourage all registered voters to cast their ballots before it gets too deep into the holiday season. I know everyone's energy and thoughts and priorities have changed, and you're thinking about shopping. If you're anything like me, you're thinking about shopping. And so we want to encourage you to go ahead, get out to vote, get early voting done, and do not wait until the very end. Voters can vote at any one of our 41 early voting vote centers. That is 41 for this December runoff election. That could be near where you go to work, home, where your children go to school, whatever's most convenient to you. What's important to know is out of those 41, you can choose any location. Every vote center is open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day, except for Sunday, the December the 3rd, where hours are from noon to 7. So again, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for all 9 days of early voting, except for Sunday, December the 3rd, which is noon to 7. Voting center locations and wait times are posted on harrisvotes.com. So if you're not sure what location is closest to you, you can go to harrisvotes.com, pull up vote centers, and simply find the top 5 locations closest to you by placing the zip code in the search box, or just look at the entire list. Here are some really important things you should know about this election cycle. In order to vote for the races on the runoff ballot, that is the city of Houston, Baytown, and Bel Air, you must be registered in the legal boundaries of those entities. So again, on the runoff ballot is the city of Houston, city of Baytown, and city of Bel Air. If you do not live in those jurisdictions or registered in those jurisdictions, you won't have a ballot to vote on. So that's very important to know. It is so important to continue voting, so don't stop until you get it done, right? Whether it's early voting or election day. harrisvotes.com is the most pertinent website in order to get all your voting information. Or you could call 713-755-6965, 713-755-6965. Houston voters will decide half of the 50% of the city's elected leadership. This is really important. That means the mayor of the city of Houston, the mayor of Bel Air, and many city council members, including the city comptroller. So this election is just as important as the November election. The districts that you will see on this ballot for the city of Houston is District D, G, and H. You will see 7 contests on the ballot if you live within the city of Houston city boundaries, or a total of 6. Here are other ways that you can prepare to vote. I always like to say, make a plan to vote. Don't just look up what locations you can go to, what times and hours, but go to the view your sample ballot on Harris Votes website, simply putting your information on the website and pull up exactly what you will expect to see before going to the ballot box. That sample ballot can also be printed and taken into the polling location with you. So again, printed materials are allowed, not your cell phone devices, iPads, or electronic devices, but the printed documents. Even the push cards that the candidates give to you outside of the polling location, those are all printed materials. Also, when you make a plan to vote, make sure that you have one of the 7 acceptable forms of ID. That includes a Texas driver's license, Texas identification certificate, Texas personal identification card, United States military identification card, even your citizenship certificate, passport, or handgun license. And if you don't have one of those, you can then fill out a reasonable impediment form and utilize other supporting documents like your utility bill, bank statement, government check, or paycheck. So these are all ways that you can make a plan to vote. Go to harrisvotes.com, find what locations is closest to you, check out the wait times. Right now, we're about over 2,100 people have chosen to vote since 7 o'clock a.m. this morning. So it's kind of a slow start, but I think people are still trying to digest turkey and all the fixings and all the things they had during Thanksgiving. I know I had a hard time getting up and moving this morning. So again, when you make that plan to vote, go to Harris Votes, look for your sample ballot, make a plan to vote, and make sure that you have your acceptable forms of ID. Approximately 18,000 postal mail ballots have been mailed to voters who have requested to vote by mail. That's approximately 18,000. Again, tomorrow is a really important deadline. If you qualify to vote by mail and you're not sure if you're getting a runoff ballot, go to Harris Votes, track that ballot on our website, and/or get your application in as soon as possible. You can fax or email, but we still have to receive that original printed document within 4 days. So again, early voting is today through December the 5th. December the 9th is Election Day, and I will open up for any questions at this time. Yeah, over 2,100 voters as of this morning. It might be a couple of more numbers than what I just gave you since we've been talking, but that's 2,100. So it's sort of a short, small run this morning, but we expect voting to pick up over the course of the 9 days. Again, you're here helping to get the information out to remind people that an election is actually happening, and it's the runoff to a very major election. The city of Houston is the 4th largest city in the nation, and so when you're thinking about leadership, this is a very important election to make sure your voice is heard, or as we say, make your voice heard or represent Harris County. Any other questions? All right, that means we covered it all. We did really good. All I can say is don't wait. I know shopping is important. Everybody's online doing your virtual shopping, as I am too. But make sure you make a plan to vote and get her done. Thank you. All right.
All right. Oh, here's your phone. One second.
Thank you all so much.
Spanish. All right. Good morning. Nombre y título. Sí. Irene Núñez, vocera de la Secretaría del Condado Harris. Where do I look, guys? Do I look like straight in the middle? Right in the middle? Okay, cool. Okay. Hoy empieza la votación anticipada de hoy hasta el 5 de diciembre. Los horarios serán de 7 de la mañana a 7 de la noche, con la excepción del domingo 3 de diciembre, que el horario será de mediodía a 7 de la noche. Tenemos 41 sitios abiertos para la votación anticipada y el votante puede acudir a cualquiera de esos sitios durante la votación anticipada. Y el día de las elecciones, que será el 9 de diciembre, tendremos 450 sitios abiertos que el votante también va a poder acudir a cualquiera de esos sitios. Y nuestro horario será de 7 de la mañana a 7 de la noche. Lo importante que la secretaria quería mencionar es que durante esta etapa de votación adelantada es muy importante. Sabemos que estamos en las vacaciones y que estamos comprando regalos, pero salgan a votar. Más de 49%, aproximadamente 50% de los líderes de la ciudad de Houston están en la boleta. Son concursos muy importantes de personas que van a decidir muchas cosas para la ciudad de Houston, y también está el alcalde de la ciudad de Bel Air y el distrito 4 para la ciudad de Baytown. Sí, la fecha límite para aplicar para recibir una boleta por correo es mañana, 28 de noviembre, y nuestra oficina tiene que físicamente recibir esa aplicación para que nosotros podamos mandarle su boleta. Si ya aplicó antes de este momento y usted marcó que si hubiera una elección, una contienda decisiva, si usted quería una boleta, usted va a recibir esa boleta. Nosotros se la vamos a mandar. Si tiene alguna pregunta, nos puede marcar al 713-755-6965 si tiene alguna pregunta, o pueden acudir a harrisvotes.com. También nosotros hemos mandado más de 18,000 boletas por correo ya a los votantes. Si no ha recibido su boleta, nos puede marcar o puede subirse en línea a buscar, a rastrear su boleta por correo. La votación para esta elección, la fecha límite para registrarse para votar ya pasó. Eso fue hace como 2 semanas, no me acuerdo exactamente la fecha, pero la fecha límite para registrarse para votar, para ser elegible para esta elección, ya pasó. Pero si se registraron antes de la elección de noviembre, son elegibles para votar. Aquellos votantes que están registrados para votar pueden votar, y si tienen alguna pregunta pueden marcar al 713-755-6965. En estas elecciones aproximadamente 1.5 millones de votantes. De esos votantes no estoy segura esa pregunta, sí, la respuesta, pero te puedo conseguir esa respuesta si la necesitas. Creo que previamente era aproximadamente 25%, pero no estoy segura, entonces te puedo agarrar eso después. Ok, muy bien. Gracias.